hope you're all good. So, a point at home at St James's Park. Newcastle United won, West Ham United won in what was probably our worst performance at home this season. Um, I mean, we were going to dip at some point, I think, like looking at the high of the semi final and stuff like that, and Bruno being out obviously made a massive difference. We haven't won without him this season, by the way. When he hasn't started, Newcastle haven't won. And that's a concern because obviously everybody else, like, I know he's a key player, but when we don't have Bruno, we look a little bit lost. There was one change from the semi-final win. Maximin came in for Bruno. Sean Longstaff dropped into a deeper role into midfield, and Joe Linton played in the middle alongside Joe Willock. But I thought it was a huge game for Maxi yesterday. Like, because obviously there's been a couple of times where where a few fans have thought he should start. And why is Jacob Murphy getting in ahead of him at times from the bench? But Maxi was awful yesterday, to put it politely. Like, he just wasn't. He just didn't seem bothered. Like, he looked a threat when he was on the ball, but off it, there was 6 or 7 times in that first half alone where Dan Burn had a 2-on-1 situation, and Maxi wasn't there to help him and protect him. He was just mazily jogging back, and I I just the more I see Maxi play in this Eddie Howe team, the more I think he's not an Eddie Howe type of player. Like, Gordon came on yesterday for Maximin, and he showed that spark straight away. He played through Callum Wilson, amazing tackle by I think it's Ogard or something like that, but amazing challenge to stop Wilson from scoring a second. But like, straight away, Gordon showed that little bit of quality in those tight areas, the give and go, the 1-2, and I, the crowd towards Maxi yesterday seemed a bit like, I don't know, a bit frustrated with him. Like, every time he lost the ball, it was just like a lot of moaning and groaning from the crowd, and happy to see him go off, but I, it's a difficult one because Maximin, since he came to the club, for most of the seasons he's been here, has been the main man. Like, he was our best player during the terrible Steve Bruce era, but like in this Eddie Howe era, like, he's just, I think he's struggling to fit in, and I think a lot of fans have said sell him in the summer, and like, for me, I still think he's got a part to play, but he's not the main man anymore. Like, I think coming off the bench and stuff like that, he can be a massive impact player, but whether Maximin would want a bit part player kind of role, he probably wouldn't. He'd probably want first team football. But I don't think he's going to get that at Newcastle, to be honest, anymore. Because I think Miggy, even when he doesn't score goals, he provides that formation type player that Eddie Howe likes. Anthony Gordon, very much a similar type of player that will get back and 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 run for you. But like, Maximin just seems that type of luxury player that isn't providing the luxury anymore. Like, he seemed to used to when he had that free role under Bruce, where it was just lob it to Maximin and hope for the best. But this structure and this idea and the plan that Eddie Howe has, it just doesn't seem to suit Maximin at all, at the minute. But when a game's open and, like, you've got tired legs on the field, he's perfect to bring on because he's a threat and he's direct and stuff like that. He's a fantastic player. We all know he is. It's just like, what's the crack with him? Like, what do you do with him? Because he started a couple of games this season. Palace in the League Cup, he was absolutely terrible. He started yesterday. He was absolutely terrible. Like, it's just like I think he's running out of chances to prove that he belongs in this team as a first teamer in any way. Like we all know he's gifted, we all know he's skillful, and on his day can be absolutely amazing. Like remember that game against Man City just this season where he was absolutely like out of this world. But it just seems that like he's I don't know, just it doesn't seem right at the minute. I hope he turns it round because I love St Maximin. I think he's a great player. Um, and I know on his day he's that Ben Arthur like player that can just come up with a little bit of magic when you need it. And I think, especially if Newcastle get into Europe next season, St Maximin would be unbelievable against like these European sides. So I'd love what to keep him. But let us know in the comments how you feel about that one anyway, because it's I know he's like he's split in the middle in terms of opinion, but yeah, I think he's had a good couple of years at Newcastle, but like obviously, do you sell? Do you keep? What do you do with St Maximin? Let us know. But we started the game really well, didn't we? Like played through Longstaff played a beautiful ball into Callum Wilson, put away. We scored before that as well, but was ruled off for the ball being out of play, which where me and Paul sit in the ground, like I thought he kept it in. Like I thought it was close, but I didn't think it was out of play when it happened. Um, and I still haven't seen it back to be fair, so I still don't know. But I started the game really well, and then to be fair to West Ham, they came out and they played well, and to be fair to them, they deserved their goal as well. They were putting pressure on, they were pressing high, they made us play sloppy. Without Bruno in the team, we didn't really have the control of the tempo and the control of the ball as well as we usually do. Um, but West Ham made the best of it, and I thought the best player on the field yesterday was Declan Rice. I thought he was absolutely outstanding, and like I know Newcastle have been screaming for a number six, someone who can play the defensive role and allow Bruno to go forward and be more of a threat further up the pitch. I think Declan Rice is that player that you go for. Like he's in a struggling West Ham side. I know like West Ham played well yesterday, but they're on the bottom four of the league, and he's powerful. He can he's good with both feet. He's good at passing. He's strong. He's athletic. Like Newcastle need to go for him this summer. Like I know it'll be pricey. I know like 60 million was probably the fee that West Ham are looking for. But he's what 23, 24, defensive midfielder. Get a long term out of him. Rarely injured. Like go for him. That is he's one of them players that like would turn you from a team that were now to a team of the next level. Like I think Declan Rice would be amazing in an Eddie Howe team. But yeah, I just thought he was brilliant. But on the day, I thought a draw was a fair result. We started really well, but West Ham grew into the game. We had our moments. Lucas Paqueta scored for them. Obviously, Bruno's best mate. Given at the beginning in front of the Leeds' end, I didn't quite get that. Because, like, obviously you celebrate, of course, but, like, he was overdoing it. And, like, it wasn't that when you were, like, basically twerking for Newcastle and there's someone begging them to sign you. Like, come on, like, giving it a bit much. But, yeah, I think Bruno plays yesterday and Paqueta doesn't get a sniff, to be honest. We made him look a hell of a lot better than he was. On a Newcastle standpoint, I thought Joe Linton played really well. Anthony Gordon, when he came on, I thought he showed glimpses of quality. Like I said before, I was like nicely surprised, like him doing the give and goes and looking absolutely rapid. Um, like after watching him, even though it's only a couple of like touches of the ball and a couple of instances of play, I know a couple of months under Eddie Howe and he'll be okay. So I know I've said in the past it's a risk. I know I've said in the past it's a bad signing, but I think I think the best is yet to come with Anthony Gordon. So yeah, fingers crossed. Eddie Howe turns out to be right, and looking at the couple of instances yesterday, I think he could be. So always keep faith in Eddie Howe. But yeah, it was very for a poor performance. We still didn't lose. Like a year ago, we'd have lost that game. 2 years ago, we'd have got fucking battered. Like if you can't win, don't lose, and we didn't lose. I know, like we've dropped points to Man United and stuff, and all eyes on the Spurs game today when they play Man City. But it's just one of them. Like we've we've lost less games than any team in the league, and I know this for I know there's frustrated fans that we didn't win, but like when you play it as bad as we did, and we didn't lose, like, and we only had one shot against one target, by the way, which was their goal. Like we still played amazingly well, defensively. Obviously, Trippier played well. Botman was absolutely amazing again. Um, Mikel Antonio's like a powerful unit. He's a powerful player, quick, strong. He went to go and try and get Botman off the ball, and he bounced off Botman. Like he's a fucking unit. Is Botman like rarely makes a mistake, calm and composed, and he's 22, 23 years old, and he's that good already. Like we've got one hell of a defender on my hands there. Like one hell of a defender. He's unbelievable. He's just class. Different gravy, that lad. Um, but yeah, there's not really many positives in terms of the game. I think I'm opting to be positive. I'd rather be positive about we're getting a point and not a defeat. And yeah, I know it's a point. It's a point against 17th in the table, but I thought West Ham played well. And if they play it from now at the end of the season, they will not go down. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah. Let us know what you think about the St Maximin situation. Obviously we've got Bournemouth next week, the Eddie Howe derby, so that should be an interesting watch as well. But yeah, get your comments in, leave a like on the video, subscribe if you want more from myself and Paul from Magpie 24/7, and yeah, catch us on the next one, everyone. Love yous and leave yous. See you later.